Good afternoon, friends. I'm Nancy Thompson with Create with Nancy, and it's time for some creative ink. It's time for you to get creative and get inspired with the project we create today. So you go and share something creative with someone that needs some joy to their lives, because sharing all these handmade cards just brings so much joy to others. And why not make the world a better place, right? By sharing a card. And it doesn't have to be somebody you know. Maybe, because we've been talking about this at some classes today. I even shared it with a few people at a class that I did today at a senior center. And I'm like, cards don't have to be just to people you know. You could have one in your purse to hand out to the teller that you go through in the bank line. Maybe it's a cashier. Maybe it's somebody who's just having a bad day that you meet along the sidewalk, right? So just share a card. You don't necessarily have to write inside. Maybe have a note, I just wanted to give this card to you today, so you can bring some joy to somebody else, okay? So don't be afraid to share your cards with even people you don't know. Okay, so today is a sneak peek at some online exclusives that's coming out September 3rd, I think it is. As a demonstrator, one of the perks we get is to pre-order all this fabulous stuff before everybody else, and that I love. So it kind of gives your hands on in creating, so I can share, give you some sneak peeks before it gets started. So let's get going. Hi Shirley, welcome. All right, so today we are using, we're gonna create, let me grab this card because I have to start like sharing this card with my face. All right, so here's this, I'm on the wrong side. Let's go on this side. Let's go up a little higher. There we go. So this is the Gathering Moment Suite, and let's figure out how to create this, okay? All right, Shirley was with me earlier today for our class, and I couldn't have done it without the help of my team. All right, so let's go to my desktop. So this is the Gathering Moments bundle, and as I said, it's in the online exclusives. And if you'd like a sneak peek, make sure to go and subscribe to my newsletter. I'm talking too fast here, so my throat's drying out. So if you would like to get this PDF, so you can see what online exclusives are coming out, it'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek, and I have that in my newsletter when I publish it. Okay, let's take a drink here. Alrighty. Okay, so this is a really great die set. So it's kind of great for, I think you could do some 3D stuff with it, scrapbooking, and then we have the smaller dies are what really coordinate with the stamp set, and it's kind of like a distress type image. It's got like etching in the stamp, which is really cool. And then of course it has some great words as well. All right, so there's that. What else is in this bundle or this suite? Then we have this embossing folder, this Gathering Leaves embossing folder. Let's see, there you go. That's a good picture. So it's a big embossing folder, and this, what do they call it? Earthen tone metallic specialty paper. And this is actually in the mini catalog. There's another fall suite, and it's in that suite. So I've already dry embossed it, so that will be done, okay? And then let's look at this fabulous designer paper, okay? So this has like 3 patterns of leaves, okay? And really the patterns are the same. It's just that it's got like some different color schemes going on. This has got like a basic beige background. These 2 are white, but then they've added the different colored leaves in them, which kind of gives a lot of versatility. And I think this one's my favorite, this Cajun Craze and the Early Espresso and Basic Beige. And as I said, this is a specialty paper, and you see that gold in it. It's absolutely fabulous. And let's see, and then we've got some beautiful plaid. So we've got some gold on this side. This side's got the gold here, so it's kind of like a mimic there. All right, there's gold pinstriping, which would be great for a guide card. And then we've got this plaid. And then here's the flip side of these guys. So I think this is kind of like mimicking bark, and that's probably kind of mimicking bark as well. And what's on the flip? I didn't show you the flip side of these. Here's the flip side of these. So we've got a little bit of a contrast. Let me put this one up here. So definitely, there we go. Okay. So great masculine fall type designer paper that we can use. And also in this suite are these Cajun craze and gold dots. You see the flecks of gold in there? There's some gold in there. We're going to use those today in our card. And then also we're using this early espresso and old olive linen thread. So we've got some color options when it comes to linen thread, which is really, really great. Okay. And then, so if you find like you want to order any of these products, you can come September 1st or September 3rd, or you can join as a demonstrator. Come join our team and be a part of our community. You can pre-order it. You can put any of these products in your starter, in your starter kit, okay? All right, our card base today is a basic beige, okay? That's for our envelope. And we've got some simple measurements, all right? So let's go ahead, and I'm hoping I have everything I need, because with the class today, I might have stole some things out of my drawer. Actually, I gotta make sure I got mini glue dots. I might have stole them out of there too, because I haven't unpacked yet. So we might have to get creative with a mini glue dot. Okay, so our basic beige is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Okay. And then we have some Cajun craze. I'm going to look at my measurements because the measurements are all over. 3 7/8 high by 5 1/8. And then our designer paper is 3 1/4 high by 5 inches. Okay. So we're going to just simply adhere these two together. All right. So let's just adhere these together and put this right on the Cajun craze. It just gives that little 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to just put this right onto our card front. We're going to go it flat. This is a fairly flat card, so it's great for mailing. And this is a great way to get started on all those fall cards that you love to do. And let's see, did I cut this the same size? I did not. And it should be 5 inches. So let me just trim a little bit off from this. I guess I was going to put it on the designer paper first, and I didn't. Okay, so we've got our earthen tone metallic. I'm going to remember this name. And specialty paper. So let's add this on. And we're just going to put this right in the middle. There we go. And then we've got these two pieces. So they're not quite the same size. One's a little bit bigger than the other. So let's start with the larger measurement, which is 2 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. And then designer paper is 1 7/8 by 2 3/8 tall. So let's adhere this right here. Just gives another little hint there. And then this cardstock is 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then our designer paper is 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay. And this should be in a PDF tutorial. I plan to do a tutorial on this card. All right. I'm not sure if it'll make the very next edition, but the one after. Okay. Sometimes it takes, I'm a little bit behind on the tutorials. Okay. So we are going to just kind of lay these out like this. I want to get a feel as to how I want them to look angled and spread apart. So I'm going to just then take a little bit of glue here because I want to kind of secure these two together. I think I like that look right there. All right. Give it a minute for that liquid glue to adhere, and then we can flip it over and add some dimensionals to the back side. Okay. All right. Let's do this. And then this. Whoops. Didn't want to stick. I had rhinestones all over my fingers earlier today. Okay, let's just pull these off right here. And let's just add this to our card front. And we're almost done here. Okay, so I've got a 5/8 inch strip of basic white cardstock. We're gonna pull in our early espresso ink. So I've been noticing, like in my classes, that customers are having issues opening it. So I just kind of put it up and down like this. Let me close it all the way. And the more you use it, the more easier it gets. And then you can see this little indentation, and I put my finger in there and just pull it down, and then it will, sometimes I go like this to slide it in place so it's all set. Okay. I didn't get any stamps out. Hang on. Let's see. What do I want to do? I think we're going to make this I'm thankful for you. So let's grab that out. Forgot to mount this. I've got a block here, so that's a good thing. I have a pile of sticky notes. I've got probably like a pile this big of sticky notes on my desk. I don't throw them out until I'm like done. All right, so let's just stamp. It's a very fine line word sentence, and I'm low, so let's go do it again. It's still kind of low. See, I cut lots of these just for that reason. I don't always stamp it perfectly. Okay, is this 4th time going to be the charm? That's better. Okay, I like that one. That one looks good. So I don't have my handy dandy hexagon punch on my desk because those are packed for the class that we had today. So I'm going to go into the middle about where I want that indentation to end, and then just angle my edge, the ends here, just slightly with it. Okay, and we have our label. Okay, so let's just trim a little bit off from this. There we go. And we are going to, I think we're done now with that. So I stamped and die cut some greenery here. So I just kind of wanted to get a feel as to how I wanted them to look. I think that looks good. And then I'm going to put my greeting over here. There we go. You know how you're like thinking along from a day when I got home and I was talking to my husband, Jack, and I'm like, and then something pops out of your head. Well, I just remembered what I needed to tell him. So now I hope I can remember to tell him again later when I see him. Oh, anybody have that problem? We're just remembering what you wanted to say and then you totally forget it. All right, so I think that one goes here. Let's move this one down a little bit. This is the beauty of liquid glue. You get to reposition it. I think, let's move it over here a little bit. Okay, so this is the same length, but I'm still gonna pop this up. They're on the same level. These two squares are on the same level. And let's create just a little bit more dimension here. And if this glue that I moved was going to show, I would take my adhesive remover after it dried a little more. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, it will. You really want to let it dry more and move some of that out of the way. Okay, let's add this here. That looks good. And then let's add, I want to add this pine cone in there. So I'm going to just grab a couple mini dimensionals. I love having the different size dimensionals, and let's put some here on the edge. Here we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Voila. Okay. I tied my linen thread bow. Yeah, this is where I don't have mini glue dots. So let's just put, I've never done this before. We got some liquid glue there. I'm just guessing it just needs to dry for a little bit, right? So let's take a minute. Thanks, Kathy. Make a note to help me remember. Okay, let me do that right now, right? I'm going to just make a note because that has to dry for a minute. Yeah. Okay, I got my note for later to tell him. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's trim our tails. There we go. I like this linen thread. It's nice and soft and it really tied well. Let's add a little bit of this earth tone. These gems here, these dots. Okay, I don't even have a take your pick tool because I packed all of them too. All right, let's just put this one here and, oops. Is that what I want to do? You know what, let's put the larger one up here. And then this one's gonna go here. Smaller one. And there's even a little smaller one. See, you can pick it up like this, like you're kind of like a jeweler would do or something, you know, holding a precious gem. And they're precious little dots. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you like the front? I love it. It's like, I'm not ready for fall yet. I'm just ready for a little bit, a hint of cooler weather. Not a lot, but just a hint. Because this like high 80s degree temperature, that can just go away. High 70s would be okay. Okay, so I just have, this is ended up being a scrap piece. So we're gonna just use it. Let's just add this down on here. Didn't realize this must be close. There we go. And then I can look over to see what, if this is even too when you're using the liquid glue. Make sure that's adhered well. And there really isn't anything to cut off. Maybe this end a little bit. And let's add this 1/8 inch strip of early espresso. This is what the liquid glue is great for. It's just a thin bead of glue. There we go. We'll trim again. Trim, trim. And let's add this. This is Cajun Craze. So I didn't say what size paper. So this is 3 1/4 by 5 inches, and then our Cajun Craze is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Same kind of concept as the big front, okay? So that way you're not overthinking what is the measurement for the inside. It's pretty much, generally, it's always the same as the front on my cards. So that'll help you. Okay, let's add this on the inside right there. And I got a handy dandy leaf. We're gonna dress up the inside a little bit more because it's fall and we're ready for fall, right? I feel like there was something on there. I don't know what. Okay, there we go. Isn't that pretty? With that little leaf that's die cut out, and these die cut really, really well. It's got a nice die cut edge to it. Okay, let's add a little bit of glue for our envelope flap. All right. There we go. And I chose this green pinstripe. So just look good to go with this card. And we will trim our envelope. Somebody learned today how to properly trim their envelope. They were tracing it and trimming it before they glued it down, but now I think they got it down pat to glue and then trim. So there was a lot of learning going on today. Okay, let's do this. And it was a fun bunch of ladies. All right, there's our card here today. So let's look at the other designs I have after I shove a little bit out of the way here. Let's put our glue on, because if you're using one of these little glue bottles, it's always great to keep your top covered so it doesn't plug up the dispenser. All right, let's look at some more. There's only 3 of them. So we got this like Cajun grays and old olive type color scheme. So this is, I think this is my favorite, you know, pattern of background. Here's that one right there with just a single leaf, and I just used the word hello and tied another linen thread ribbon, and we've got the metallic paper there embossed, and here's the inside, kind of adding the strip in a different way to add a little bit more uniqueness to the card. And then this plaid paper that was for the envelope. Okay, so finally here's this one right here. Looks a little busy, but I think it still works. So there's that one, and then there is that one. So so those are your 3 cards. Let me know if you like the old olive scheme, the Cajun scheme, or the crushed curry scheme, okay? If there's anything you want to order, remember you can hit that shop now button, and you can also subscribe to my newsletter if you're just catching the tail end here, and so you can get a PDF tutorial and also learn about any specials classes that I have going on as well. So all right, good to see you here, Kathy. Have a great weekend. I hope everybody is well. And come back on next Wednesday on either Facebook or YouTube at 3 p.m. for some more Creative Ink. We're going to do probably a sketch card. All right. So yeah, another simple and easy card. Normally it's a little bit harder card today, but I needed something simple and easy. I just didn't figure out how to turn this card into a fun fold. So, all right. And pre-registration, I gotta remember to say this, pre-registration's open for our Peaceful Garden Retreat, and which is gonna be amazing. If you, I don't even have anything here to share with you because I end up putting on a display board. But the projects are beautiful. There's a beautiful favor you're going to get, a cute little fabric tote bag that's handmade by me personally, and I think one of my team members is going to help me as well. So an extra special treat there. And of course you can see classes, any specials going on with Stampin' Up. And it's a meaty newsletter, so it might even be more meatier next week. So it will probably go out on Tuesday next week, okay? All right, have an awesome weekend. I think it's going to be hot again, right? And it's cruising night for us tonight and tomorrow night, so all depends on how much work I get done before the night is over. So thanks so much. I so appreciate you all, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.